Thanks for joining us for this weekend edition of Your Morning. Here are some of the stories and conversations we have coming up.
So, my friends, how do you like to spend your birthday? Enjoy some cake, maybe a day at the spa? Well, our friend Dan Riskin spent his day hanging out with bats.
Nicole McLaughlin had a heart attack when she was just 42 years old. She shared her story with us as a way to raise awareness about heart health.
But first, the Pentagon's move toward AI and how it could affect allies like us here in Canada. As Canada looks to deepen its defense ties with the United States, there is growing scrutiny over the Pentagon's new contract with Elon Musk's Grok chatbot. U.S. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is blasting the contract as offensive and dangerous.
Soon, the same AI model that called itself Mecha Hitler and recommended a second Holocaust will be used in the Pentagon to address critical national security challenges.
So the U.S. government says its $200 million contract with X's AI will see Grok tackle national security challenges. But critics say controversies surrounding Grok, including a tirade of anti-Semitic posts on X, make the chatbot a national security threat itself. For more on the contract, we are joined by Tawfiq Rahim, geopolitical strategist and author of Trump 2.5, a primer. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So what is the plan here? I mean, what will Grok be used for exactly?
Well, the grant is actually across 4 different companies for $200 million, or the contract, let's say, for agentic AI. So OpenAI received the first agreement, and in this slate, Grok was awarded $200 million along with Anthropic and Google. And really, it's about developing frontier AI capabilities where the AI itself can play a role beyond just chatting, but actually taking action. And of course, there is a lot of embedded risk within that, broadly speaking, not just with Grok.
What are the guardrails that are in place for how the Pentagon could use Grok?
I think these are the fears that we need to discuss a lot more. I think beyond what Chuck Schumer in your clip highlighted, which really, relates to the politicization of the current environment and, of course, some of the stray conversations that Grok was having. The questions really are raised around what agentic capabilities would be embedded within the Pentagon and broader defense actions. What data would there be access to, and to what extent the AI could take actions on its own. And this discussion is really not being had in a transparent way, in a comprehensive way. And the risk is that because it will be tagged with that type of secret clearance, it won't be had in a public way. And I think that's what needs to happen, especially when other countries like Canada are brought on board.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that. The Canadian government is in talks with the Trump administration, as we know, over joining its Golden Dome missile defense project. What effect could the Pentagon Grok contract have on the U.S. military's relationship with allies like us here in Canada?
Well, I think every country needs to have its own autonomous and integrated, AI capability. And the challenge for Canada, given that the U.S. is so close to the country in terms of its defense apparatus, and the fact that the artificial intelligence capabilities in U.S. companies is at such a pole position, that Canada will simply defer to American AI and American defense capabilities in this regard. But that's actually not the way forward for a sovereign approach, and there needs to be, honestly, as of yesterday or last year or quite some years ago, the AI capabilities in Canada being invested in to lead those defense capabilities. And I don't know if that discussion is being had in Canada at a national level, because as it stands, they might just default to what the U.S. is doing.
During the peak of the Trump-Musk feud, President Trump repeatedly threatened to cancel the contract with Elon Musk and the companies he has and the contracts he has with the U.S. government. Is it possible this deal could be canceled?
It is possible, because there will be a review, generally speaking, and this contract is new. So unlike the SpaceX contracts, which of course you might have seen was leaked, that they are being reviewed, and those are much more vital and established within the U.S. government, and particularly for the Department of Defense. This contract will come under scrutiny, and so all of the AI companies, and in particular Grok, because it goes so public on X with its responses, will be evaluated. But you have to also keep in mind that OpenAI has faced a lot of controversy recently. There's been a few New York Times articles how it's reinforced type of different actions, mental illness, etc., in many of its users.
Well, Tawfiq Rahim, thank you for your insight on this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Coming up, a reminder about the importance of heart health from a woman who had a heart attack at 42 years old. All right, in 2021, Nicole McLaughlin had a heart attack. She was 42 years old. Nicole had been an athlete her whole life. It was a complete shock. Nicole's road to recovery took a lot of patience, a lot of rehab. She is now raising awareness by sharing her story. Nicole joins me this morning along with Dr. Paul O. Dr. O is the medical director at University Health Network's Cardiovascular Prevention and Rehabilitation Program. Good morning to both of you. And we really appreciate you sharing your story, Nicole.
Pleasure.
So take me back to the day that the heart attack happened. Walk me through that day.
Sure, it was just a regular Monday morning at work and just working from home. It was in the middle of COVID. And all of a sudden I stood up to either go for a run or go for a walk with my girlfriend and her dog. And I just got this full body sensation of nothing I've ever experienced before. It wasn't pain, it wasn't nausea, and I just knew something wasn't right.
What did you think was happening?
I had no idea, but I did Google heart attack, but nothing came up.
And what did it feel like, if you could describe it?
Initially, there was no pain. It was just like a full body buzz. Very, very strange. And being during COVID, I called telehealth. And I didn't think anything else of it. Told my girlfriend I needed a few extra minutes to get ready because I was feeling off. And telehealth called back and I was unconscious
Really?
at that point.
And was your girlfriend with you at the time?
No, she came over eventually, and actually she was the one who let the paramedics in. Telehealth immediately said, we can't get a hold of this person, and sent paramedics.
Do you know how long you were unconscious for?
Probably 15 minutes or so.
Wow. So then they take you to the hospital.
Took me to the
And
hospital.
then what happened?
Blood tests, a couple of hours later, and I get surrounded by this medical team who rushes me back into the ER saying, you're having a major cardiac event.
What did you think when they said that to you?
I didn't think it was true. Like, I didn't think there was any way, but also in the back of my mind, because I had Google, I was like, this is just something so different. I wasn't that surprised. I was in denial. I still thought I'd go golfing 2 days later.
Right.
And I didn't want to be replaced in my foursome. So,
Fair, big golfer. So, Dr. O, Nicole's heart attack, I understand, was the result of a spontaneous coronary artery dissection. Is that right?
That's
What
right.
is that?
So think of the coronary arteries as a muscular tube. Outer layer has muscle supporting structure tissue. The inner lining is meant to be a smooth conduit for blood flow, called the intima. Spontaneous coronary artery dissection means spontaneous happens all of a sudden. Coronary artery is the vessel. And dissection means that inner lining intima kind of tears away from the wall. So most heart attacks happen because we build up plaque inside the artery. This one happens because of a weakness in the wall where blood is flowing down a false channel now, and then we end up blocking that vessel.
So, Nicole was, what, 42? Healthy, athlete her whole life. What do you make of this? Like, why did this happen?
Yeah, so one, this is not the usual kind of heart attack that we might see, for instance, in prototypical older men. You know, we're building up cholesterol plaque over years and years and years, and that's what we think about when older people come in with chest pain or heart attacks. Younger women have different kinds of syndromes, like this spontaneous coronary artery dissection, or other kinds of problems with the heart, where stress or other kind of stressors on the heart can cause blood vessel abnormalities and blockages like this.
Could there have been signs? Like, was there any sign along the way?
there was nothing.
There was nothing. So
Nothing
how
at
do you,
all.
what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, so one is, you're right, that all of us need to follow a good, healthy living. And Nicole, you're doing that. You're active, you're eating well, you're doing all those really good things. So you're protecting yourself from the usual kinds of heart problems. But some people are prone, perhaps on a genetic basis, to these kinds of abnormalities. So if there's something that runs in the family, we need to have this greater
Can you get it
awareness.
tested? Like if something does run in the family?
So sometimes for some of these more unusual kinds of blood vessel problems that are typical, more typical in younger women, there may be family histories where you can actually look at blood vessels, look for other abnormalities. So not only might some of these blockages or narrowings happen in the coronary arteries, but they might be present elsewhere in the body. So with an event like Nicole's, maybe we talk to your family, right?
And one more question I have to ask. How are you doing now? Like how have the last couple of years been?
They've been great.
Yeah.
I'm back to jogging. I don't
Okay.
want to say running,
Right.
but I'm back to doing everything. I take aspirin on a daily basis just as a preventative, but I'm off of, beta blocker or anything like that where the typical heart attack gets treated.
And you're here.
I'm here, yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing your story with us today.
Thank
and Dr.
you.
O, thanks for bringing your expertise as well.
Pleasure.
Important conversation.
Oh, God.
Ahead on your morning, why would Dan Riskin spend his birthday with bats? Well, we'll let him explain.
All right, my friends, the world's favorite science expert and great Canadian Dan Riskin recently celebrated his 50th milestone birthday. He decided to do something for most of us a little unusual, for him, though, right on the money to mark the occasion. Have a look.
This week for the Bat Signal, I'm just going to show you what I saw in Mexico and how I spent my birthday. Oh, God.
All right, so for Dan, this tracks, as the kids say. Anybody who knows him knows that he is a huge bat enthusiast, very passionate about them, also an expert in bats. Dan, what was it like to spend your birthday venturing into all these caves and checking this out? Because I want to say as well, you're a scientist, you're a great broadcaster, but not everybody may know that your PhD in animal biology is specifically about bats, so you really are an expert.
I'm an expert on bats. I love bats. I read a book about them in high school.
Yeah.
I became a bat scientist, and I love them so much. Teddy, you know this about me.
I know.
And so I had this 50th birthday coming up, and I had mixed feelings about it. And so I was talking to my wife, and she said, what would you really love to be doing on that day? And I said,
Right.
well, seeing a bat I've never seen before is like the bliss, right? And so she
Did
said,
she already know the answer to the question before she asked
She
it?
was like, it's not hanging with your family, Dan. It's going to see bats. I was like, well, I love my family. But she was very good about it. So basically, I snuck off to Mexico to my friend's field site where she does work on bats.
Oh, okay.
And I brought a couple of other bat biologists with me to ring it in. So there were 4 of us, and we just went caving. We went into mines. We set up nets, and we just caught bats and helped my friend collect some data in our field site.
This is bliss for you. And I mean, look at this. You're like crawling through the caves.
Yeah, so that's my friend Winifred Frick. She's the Chief Scientific Officer at Bat Conservation International.
So cool.
She's been doing work in Baja, California, Mexico for a decade, and this is one of her field sites where these gorgeous bats, these California leaf-nosed bats. I had read about these bats. Oh, look at that. That's a funnel-eared bat.
Oh, my goodness.
Super weird looking. Like
Wow.
it does have, and there's a canyon bat, which is the smallest bat in North America. These ones have twins. I mean, all of these bats, it's like, Teddy, you read these scientific papers and you learn so much about these things, and they're like characters that you know, and then you finally meet them.
Right.
And it's like meeting a celebrity, right? It's like I've seen all these George Clooney movies and I'm meeting George Clooney.
Yeah.
That's what it's like to meet some of these bats. And then we saw 9 different species on this trip, and it filled me with so much happiness.
Did you have a favorite? Because you alluded to this, but one you had been like searching for a long time.
Yeah, there's one called a California leaf-nosed bat that I had been looking for. I had read papers about them in 2002 and ever since, and I really wanted to see one. And when I finally got one, in the hand, and I should say I've had my rabies shots. I know how to handle bats properly. People at home, please don't handle bats because it's not safe to do. You have to worry about things like rabies. But I'm a professional.
Yep.
And but to see this bat and to meet it and see it look in its eyes, I just can't describe how much bliss it brings me. But it's one of the great things about science and just following your curiosity for a living is that you get these moments.
Oh, you're the best, Dan. Your enthusiasm is so contagious, though I don't know if I would ever do that. But here's the thing. You all set up nets to catch bats, and we've got a clip because I know at one point you were setting up nets and you kind of found some nature that you weren't bargaining for, right?
Yeah.
Let's roll that clip.
Yeah. One important thing is to make sure your guy ropes are supporting your pole. Another one is to make sure the net is going over water if you can. And the third is to just avoid getting too close to the rattlesnake that sets up shop right next to where you're netting, because that's...
So here's the thing. You mentioned that never ever do this at home. Like, we shouldn't be going out and looking for bats. You're a pro, you do this, but there's a rattlesnake. When you're out there in the field like this as a biologist, how do you avoid some of the potentially more hazardous surprises that could crop up, like maybe a rattlesnake?
Well, a little bit of luck and a lot of going out with people who have been there before and know what to watch for. I didn't see that thing at all. I'm like, let's set up a net, la la la. And then my friend's like, don't step about 3 feet that way because there's a rattlesnake. And I was like, what? and there it was. And then later that night, we found another one, and then another, and then another, all within about 25 feet. Because we were setting up our nets over water to try to catch bats, because this is in the desert. It hasn't rained for 2 years in this one spot.
Whoa.
And so animals come for the water, bats come to take a drink. That was how we were gonna catch them. But these rattlesnakes hunt rodents that also come there for a drink. And so all the rattlesnakes are smart enough to set up shop right at the water.
Yeah.
And we're like, doo-dee-doo-dee-doo. And then we didn't catch a single bat that night, and we saw 4 rattlesnakes. But I mean, listen, it's like fishing, right? A bad day of fishing is you're still having a great time. A bad night of trying to catch bats and not catching any, you still get to see 4 rattlesnakes, and nobody got bitten.
Oh, there you go.
That's the big bonus.
Dan, gotta leave it there, but very quickly, did it live up to your expectations for your 50th birthday?
Yeah, and I'm starting to think about maybe my 51st birthday, 52nd.
Yeah.
You got it. It's a great way to ring in a birthday, is to do what you love.
I love that. So great to see you. All right. That's CTV's science and technology specialist, Dan Riskin. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. Next week on Your Morning, tips on keeping your garden looking fresh, even when temperatures are scorching.
Welcome back to the weekend edition of Your Morning. Here's what we have for you in this half hour.
Lauren Chrissy joined us with his dogs, Cleo and Cairo, to talk about traveling with pets.
We're firing up the grill for the perfect summer, fall, winter, and spring meal. Ribs with Caesar salad.
So good. But first, Olympian Sarah Nurse joins us to talk about embracing her natural beauty with a campaign challenging harmful beauty standards.
3 in 4 Canadian millennial women say harmful messages they learned about beauty standards from growing up in the early 2000s still affect their body image today, and this is all according to a study by Dove. As part of this company's Unseen Beauty campaign, Olympian and professional hockey player Sarah Nurse is getting real about her own insecurities in the hopes of inspiring other women to embrace their natural beauty. And Sarah joins me this morning from Montreal. Sarah, great to see you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I related so much to this topic because I too grew up in the early 2000s, and we were flooded with messages about our bodies and other people's bodies and body image and beauty standards that I am still grappling with as a woman today. What about you? What kind of messages did you see?
Yeah, I mean, I had a very similar upbringing where growing up in the early 2000s, there's magazines and TV that are basically showing you these unrealistic beauty standards. And it was, unkind words that were said about women's bodies and talked about women's bodies. And so I, was a kid who always was running around playing sports. And so I had muscular thighs. And so I remember hearing thunder thighs. But there were so many other words, like muffin top, that so many women have heard. And so being able to share stories and create a sense of community, I think, is the biggest thing about Unseen Beauty that's going to come out of this project that I'm excited about.
I think about our experience growing up where so much of that was on TV and in magazines, but we could also unplug from it. And then I think about teens today who are so dialed into their phones and to social media and seeing whatever the algorithm is feeding them in terms of beauty standards. What do you hear about what young people today are facing?
Yeah, well, I think you said it. Like, there's really no escaping it just because of social media and the way that society is kind of wired now. And so to be able to understand that now, like, there's strength in beauty and beauty is strength, like, those things aren't mutually exclusive. And so I, for one, being an athlete, understanding that it's not necessarily how my body looks in the mold that other people try to put me in, but it's more what my body does to me. Being able to get up in the morning and take my dog for a walk, going strength training, being able to play hockey, but there's so many things that our bodies enable us to do. Our bodies are so much more important than the way that they look.
So take me through Dove's Unseen Beauty campaign. How is this helping to change the narrative around beauty standards?
Yeah, I think going back and, looking at photos that obviously were hard at the time, but hard to look at now still, and being able to share those photos and understanding that you're not the only one who has dealt with those unrealistic beauty standards and that unkind language surrounding your body. And so being able to share that, again, creates that sense of community that we hope millennial women will be able to understand and resonate with, so that we can all, shift the narrative and change the way we speak about women's bodies, and understanding that, we want millennial women and women of the next generations to have positive body language when talking about their bodies.
The confidence that sharing a photo unfiltered can bring to someone when you see other women doing it like yourself. I mean, that's huge for so many people who are watching right now.
Yeah, I think it's really important. Those photos are visual reminders of times in our lives that we felt, less than. And so being able to confront the kind of trauma, I guess, head on, I think is really important, in helping kind of resolve those underlying lingering feelings that we may have about ourselves, and really shift the narrative, change the narrative as we move forward, and empower women of every generation to feel amazing and confident in their bodies.
Sarah, you're such a role model. My nieces who play hockey look up to you so much, and we've so loved watching you here in Toronto. You have signed a contract with PWHL Vancouver. You are moving to the other side of the country, and we are happy to see your journey there. What has the response been from fans and young girls and boys who've been watching you in this role as a professional hockey player?
Yeah, I think there have been so many incredible responses. Definitely bittersweet for myself and a lot of other people, because I've played so much in Toronto and spent so much of my life here. But I think it's so exciting being able to go across the country. How many times in your life do you get to do that? And so being able to go to Vancouver, the expansion, women's sports and women's hockey is growing. So it's such a positive sign, and we're very excited. I will be back playing in Toronto. I will play there 4 or 5 times next year. And so I definitely won't be gone forever, but I'm so excited for the new opportunity that we have over in Vancouver.
Well, the fearlessness you show with this move and on the ice, and then with this campaign as well. Sarah, it is always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much for making time for us today.
Thank you. I hope you have a great day.
If you love The Woman in Cabin 10, and millions of people did, get ready to get reading, because Ruth Ware is back with a brand new novel 10 years later, revisiting a few beloved characters and introducing a few more. The Woman in Suite 11, see what she did there, is bringing back journalist Lo Blacklock. Jo finds herself in hot water after someone dies on a press trip, and all eyes end up on her. Dun, dun. Ruth Ware is back in studio. Good to see you again.
Oh, great to see you again. It's so lovely to be back.
This is very exciting. So, you're 10 for 10. We've got 10 books, 10 New York Times bestsellers. Are you a numbers person? It seems like you are. Is 10 a lucky number?
I do. It does feel like kind of a milestone. Yeah, coming full circle 10 years later was so much fun, revisiting old characters. Yeah, I absolutely loved it. And I'm so happy the way people have kind of taken this book to their hearts.
Of course they have. Important to note, you don't have to read The Woman in Cabin 10 to read this one, but it does give you a deeper understanding if you do. As an author, how tricky is it to find that balance? To write a book that rewards the readers that have read the first one, but doesn't sort of isolate readers who want to read just this one.
That was definitely the toughest part of writing it, I think, was striking that balance between, fundamentally it's a book that I wrote for the people who loved Cabin 10, and it's dedicated to those people, it's dedicated to everyone who wanted more. But it was really important to me that it worked as a standalone mystery, that people who found this book first could start with it. So I think you have everything that you need to solve the puzzle of what happened.
Let's talk about the puzzle. Lo is back. She's married. She has children. She's in a career slump until she gets a mysterious invitation to cover a new luxury hotel on the shores of Lake Geneva. Were you able to do some on-site research? Did you go to Switzerland? Talk to me.
Well, I've still never been on a cruise for Cabin 10, so I felt like this time I had to get my money's worth out of researching this book. So I didn't stay anywhere quite as luxurious as the Hotel du Lac in the book, but I got to hang out in the Swiss Alps. I went to Lake Geneva. It was incredible.
It's stunning.
It's just
Did it just take your breath away?
It's so beautiful, and I think it's somewhere that people think of for wintertime, like for skiing.
Yeah, that's true.
But summer is even more stunning.
Oh, beautiful. Now, at one point, one of the characters is described as having a, quote, pretty elastic relationship with the truth, which is, it's interesting as a reader because you aren't sure who to trust. Are you the type of writer who knows the culprit right from the beginning, or does that sort of evolve as you're writing?
I almost always know the who and the how. What sometimes changes as I get to know the characters a bit better is the motive. And I feel that's a bit like real life. You can make assumptions from the outside about why people are acting the way they are. But often it's not until you get to know them a bit better that you realise actually their motives are so much deeper and weirder than you ever suspected.
Oh, I love that, the layering of that. I have to ask you what's going on with the movie version of The Woman in Cabin 10. So I understand Keira Knightley is in it, right? It's apparently coming out this fall. Can you tell us much?
Yeah, it's coming out this autumn on Netflix. It's incredible. Keira Knightley is Lo. It has the most amazing cast. It has Hannah Waddingham from Ted Lasso.
Oh, I love her.
Guy Pearce, David Ajala, Art Malik,
Oh my
just
gosh.
like a who's who of incredible actors. So I feel like my project is in very safe hands.
Have you seen any of it?
No. I read the script. I got to visit set, which was amazing. Got to say hi to some of the actors.
Did you get to see them do dialogue?
Yes.
So what's that like as a writer? I mean, you've written the piece, and then you have to go, okay, over to you now, and then you're watching it come to life. What's that process like?
It was absolutely like a crazy fever dream, just to see like real flesh and blood, three-dimensional people saying lines that I came up with in my spare bedroom almost 10 years ago. It felt like some kind of superpower, if that doesn't sound too weird.
No, it's got to be such a surreal experience.
Yeah, it was really, really surreal, but amazing just to walk into a sort of three-dimensional version of a world that I dreamed up so long ago was amazing.
It's fantastic. We can't wait to see what you do next, which number we're going to be tapped into. Ruth Ware, great to see you again. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
A reminder, everybody, the new book is called The Woman in Suite 11. Coming up, the new Mario Kart and other top video games of the summer.
I'm not going to pretend I didn't just run up the stairs. I'm very aroused. Nothing quite says summer like barbecue. And this morning, I'm just going to bring in Andrea.
I'm here for you, Anne-Marie. I'm here for you.
Listen, we are barbecuing. We've got Caesar salad.
Yeah.
We've been talking about this meal for like 3 days.
Very excited.
We are so excited. And I love barbecue.
Yeah, and these are recipes out of my cookbook, The Essential Cottage Cookbook.
Which is truly essential.
Yeah, it is essential.
Yeah, I'm seeing it everywhere.
Amazing.
Yes.
It's been really good. So we're going to start with the barbecue chapter, and we're going to do my halftime ribs.
Okay.
Now, halftime ribs, you might think that it's a nod to football, but it's actually a nod to the fact that they take less than, the normal amount of time to cook them. So it's about 30 minutes. And then they go on the barbecue. But let's start with this barbecue sauce here.
What's in there?
This is from scratch. We've got some ketchup. We've got some brown sugar. We've got onion powder, garlic powder.
Okay.
Now, this is in the essential chapter. You can totally make or buy your barbecue sauce. Molasses, you got it. We've got some smoked paprika for that smoked vibe. Pepper, I'm going to get you to add the other stuff too.
Okay.
We've got allspice. We've got Worcestershire.
How do you say that again?
Worcestershire.
Oh, so good.
Right? What's that there sauce? Yeah. Cayenne. This is cocoa, which is an unexpected addition. It's also something I like to add to my chili because it gives it a certain, depth of flavor.
And this is cloves?
Allspice.
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 Okay.
So that gets mixed together and it gets simmered down for a little while until it gets nice and thick and
low and slow or
low
high?
and slow.
Low and slow, okay.
Yeah, for a few minutes there, and then you're gifted with this gorgeous sauce. Okay.
Can I dip my finger in? I know
you
it's gross.
absolutely can.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so for the ribs, this is a recipe that's in the Make It and Take It chapter, so you can make it ahead of time.
That's so tangy and so good.
I love it.
I need to dip something
Awesome.
in that. Okay, keep going.
You're gonna dip your ribs in it.
Okay.
Okay. So for the ribs, what happens is they
That's good.
take a bath in a gorgeous broth of beer, soy sauce, onions, garlic, and they simmer for 30 minutes. You take them out, and then you can put them in a bag and transport them to the cottage or to your neighbor's house, wherever you're going. And then they literally get heated on the barbecue for about 10 minutes per side, and they're ready to go. Oh, I have some for you. Look at you, you're ready.
I know you want to put them on this pretty plate, but thank you.
I already read your mind, Anne-Marie, honestly.
Oh my gosh.
So they go on the barbecue for about 10 minutes when you get to where you're going because you've done most of the work. Now, what I will say about these ribs is when you cook them in a bath, it sort of renders a lot of the fat away, and you're gifted with a very tender rib, but it's a different rib than you might be used to.
Okay.
Very tender. It stays on the bone, so you can eat it like a piece of meat. Yeah.
Can I?
You go,
Where's
girl.
your sauce? I need the sauce.
Oh, sauce. I thought I sauced it up enough for you.
I need more sauce. That sauce is so good.
I heard you're a ribs connoisseur, so I'm a little nervous here.
Not bad. Oh, that sauce, it like just makes your like mouth pucker.
It's really good, right?
It's so
That's the
good.
apple cider vinegar in there. Yeah.
You want to do? I'm just gonna eat these. This is what Lindsay's really excited about.
So this is a roasted broccoli Caesar salad, and it uses a rotisserie chicken, and it uses frozen garlic bread as croutons. So you roast the broccoli and bacon together so it gets nice and crispy. You tear up your rotisserie chicken, pop it in there, and you also, obviously, you can't have a Caesar salad.
I love, by the way, that you use rotisserie chicken so often.
I mean,
God bless you.
Why not? Everyone needs to pick up a rotisserie chicken, you know, at least once a week to make dinner happen. We're going to put these garlic bread croutons on there. This is in the
And where you just chop this up from frozen, or when it's
from
shredded, or what?
frozen.
Okay.
And then bake it off, and you add it. It's almost like a Caesar panzanella in a way. And this is for for a crowd chapter.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, that's it. We garnish a little bit of
fresh Parmesan,
right?
for
Make
sure.
it rain Parmesan every day.
And this is what in your sauce? Are there
Caesar
anchovies
salad.
in there? Okay.
There are. I'm a classic Caesar salad gal. If you don't like them, I
love anchovies.
I can't give you an out with that. I think anchovies belong in Caesar salad dressing.
No, I thought I would miss the crunch of the romaine, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
But I like the bite of the broccoli.
The broccoli, and these are nice and crunchy as well. And then finally, of course, I have delicious cocktails in the Essential Cottage Cookbook. This is my iced lemon Manhattan, my iced tea Manhattan.
Okay, what's in here?
You've got whiskey, you've got vermouth, you've got maple syrup, a hit of lemon for that pucker.
Syrup.
Yeah, maple syrup. And a little bit of bitters, and then some iced tea. And you can sweeten it as you like.
Oh, will you drink this with me, please?
Of course I will.
Oh, this is
Cheers.
so good.
Cheers to summer.
The this, and the salad. I just need the book. You can find all of Andrea's recipes in the Essential Cottage Cookbook. It truly is essential. It is everywhere.
Thanks,
Congratulations,
Anne-Marie.
my
Thank
friend.
you so
You can also scan the QR code, and you can also subscribe to the newsletter.
It is a hot summer for gamers out there. Today, an iconic video game is releasing a fresh revamp, and we've got a new action-adventure game to tell you about as well. We've got another one about a group of friends climbing a mountain. Oh, and did I mention Mario Kart's got a new one? There's so much to talk about in the world of gaming. Out this summer is our favorite resident gamer, AJ Fry is here. It's so good to see you.
Oh, thanks for having me
There's
back.
so much to talk about.
Yes,
Should we start with Donkey Kong,
should.
launching a new version today?
Yeah, brand new game, Donkey Kong Bonanza, and it's been over 10 years since a new Donkey Kong game dropped. I actually did a promo video with Donkey Kong himself for the last one, so it's about time.
No way.
Yeah, he smashed back onto the game scene, and he's doing it in a big way. You can see it right there, Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's got all kinds of action. I actually got to try this back at the Nintendo Switch 2 launch event in New York in April, and it was the highlight for me. You know, a lot of game reviewers talk about the fun aspects of games like the graphics, the sound, the characters, the story, and Donkey Kong Bonanza has all those, but as you can see, this is just fun to play. It's got great game feel as you smash through this highly destructible world as Donkey Kong, who is super powerful and surprisingly speedy. And in this video, you see a little purple creature on his shoulder, but in actual fact, in the real game, it's his pal Pauline riding around on his shoulder as well. You're, of course, collecting bananas, you're solving puzzles, you're battling enemies, you're exploring this amazing world. It is super fun, available today. They've even got you doing some side-scrolling minecart riding. You see a bit of the side-scrolling, and there's the minecart riding right there, which is a bit of a throwback to the classic Donkey Kong games of my youth, which we won't talk about how long ago that was now. But
So long ago. You're so old.
everyone is super stoked for this game. I am as well. The one downside, of course, is that it is an exclusive title for the new Nintendo Switch 2, so you'll have to drop some yellow coins to pick up that hardware to play it.
Oh, that's hilarious. So you got to buy the system to play the game.
Indeed, you do, but it is worth it. This one is super fun. I am stoked. Ready to go bananas for Bonanza.
Bananas for Bonanza. Okay, moving on to a game you want to play with a friend. What is Split Fiction about?
Split Fiction, yes. So this is from Hazelight Studios, who dropped It Takes Two, which was a huge award-winning game from 2021, which was also a couch co-op game, so I'd also recommend that game before you get into Split Fiction or after. But essentially, this is designed from the get-go to be a couch cooperative experience for you and a friend to play. You cannot play this one solo. You play as two novelists who actually get sucked into the worlds of their creation. As you can see, it's about playing together, split screen, and the worlds that they have both written, one is a fantasy writer, one is a science fiction author, they kind of get merged and flip-flopped. So as you go through the game, you're ping-ponging between science fiction settings and fantasy settings and working together to try and fight or find your way out of this scenario that you've found yourselves in. It's amazing that it's got cross-play, so if you're playing on an Xbox, you can play with your friend on a PlayStation online, and only one of you actually needs to own the game in order to play it as well. super awesome feature
That's
there.
cool.
But of course, you can play it on the same system on the couch together with
This
a friend,
looks really
family
cool.
member. Yeah, they design amazing games. They're lots of fun. And a little side note, Sydney
Yeah?
Sweeney is attached to a major motion picture that's in development based on Split Friction.
Ooh, that is a
Or
good
Split
side.
Fiction, I should say, not Split Friction.
I know,
It's
I
an
put that in
entirely
your head
different property.
earlier. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Next game up is Peak.
Yeah, Peak has really piqued my interest.
I knew you were going to do it, so I didn't do it.
This is another multiplayer-focused game. It's designed for you and 3 friends. You're essentially climbing mountains. There are 4 different mountain types. One is a forest mountain. One is a tropical mountain. There you see
They're
it
so
there.
cute.
Yeah, really cool art design. There's a like a alpine frozen mountain and then a volcanic mountain. And it's a simple concept. Just climb to the peak of the mountain. But the fun of the game is the hilarity and hijinks that comes with climbing with your friends. You'll mess with each other as you're climbing. It's got proximity chat so you can hear each other as you fall off the cliff face. No! And there's tools that you can use to help one another get up to the top of the mountain. Exactly. But the fun is really just messing with one another and having fun as you attempt to climb the mountain. What's really cool too is that the mountains regenerate every day. So it's procedurally generated, so it's always new challenges to keep the game fresh and fun. And it's only $10. Unfortunately, it's only available on Steam, so if you're a PC gamer, you can get access, or if you got a Steam Deck, which is kind of like a Nintendo Switch 2.
Right, which you have here with us today.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay,
That's
so
Peak.
finally I want to ask you, that is Peak. Finally I want to ask you about Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Going global.
Yeah, Mario Kart World. This is really the biggest and baddest Mario Kart game they have put out there yet. It does have the classic Grand Prix gameplay of, 4 races to get one of the cups unlocked. But they have done so much more. They've introduced free roam mode so you can drive around without the urgency of a race and just completing little challenges that you find out in the world. They've doubled the number of racers in a race from 12 to 24, which is lots of fun, but if you've ever felt the pain of being in 12th place, just imagine how sad it is to be in 24th place. There's a knockout mode.
It's like doubly worse.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Especially
right.
if you're playing knockout mode, which is where they eliminate the final 4 players as you complete each lap or section, so only the last 4 players make it to the very end of the race. The battle modes from the classic games are still in there. Lots more characters that you can play as. Last night I won one of the cups as Cheep Cheep, which is a fish.
Yeah.
Pretty ridiculous.
Cheep Cheep the fish?
Yeah, driving around on a motorcycle as a fish with no hands on the wheel or the steering.
Seems complicated.
Yeah, but it is lots of fun. New power-ups, customizations, and another exclusive for the Nintendo Switch 2. But
I had a chance to
so
play
much
this
fun. Yeah?
as a non-gamer. Really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got very competitive, shocker. But it was
Really?
really fun. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Are you
With
ready
my
to
kids.
challenge me
Well, maybe
right
that's where I
now?
was headed at. Okay, yeah, I do.
I mean, it's ready to go.
Controller ready.
Yeah, can we hit resume?
You won't see this because I'm just gonna school
I
you
mean,
in the
we can-
break, right?
yeah.
Is that how this works, AJ?
I guess so.
Wait, it's weird that it's faced toward you and not me.
Oh.
Interesting. There we go.
There
That's
we
all
go.
right.
Now
Okay,
you-
we're
now
gonna
you
play
can
this
race.
to break.
I'm just way ahead. You gotta press
Wait,
the A button
I'm
to
not
get
even
going,
moving.
Lindsay.
We should.
A button. A button. Hold
Wait,
down
what?
the A button,
Okay.
and then that's accelerate.
There we go. AJ, so good to see you.
Thanks for
Happy
having me.
summer. Thanks for
Yeah, you
coming
too.
in.
Coming up Monday on Your Morning, Kaisa joins us to talk about her summer tour and new music.
For a lot of Canadians, going on vacation doesn't always mean leaving your family pet at home. A lot of us take our pets with us, whether by choice or necessity. One of those Canadians happens to be our travel journalist, Lauren Christie. Lauren might just have the most well-traveled dogs you've ever met. Cleo and Cairo have been all over France. They've been all over Spain. Of course, they've been all over Canada. And this morning, they are all over us here in the studio, which I'm so happy about, Lauren. Okay, everybody, meet. Wait, okay, so we've got Cairo
Cleo.
and Cleo. They're so well behaved. They didn't bark once.
So far.
So far. But that's key, right? Like, how well trained do your dogs have to be if you want to travel with
It
them?
helps. It helps.
Yes. Okay, so I do want to give a shout out to Stormy because your cat
Yes, also has traveled.
has also traveled. I think we've got a shot of Stormy. I didn't know that you and Kelsey's little cat was named Stormy too.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's Stormy, beautiful. So Stormy's not here with us, but Stormy travels with you guys as well. So let's start with the basics. If you are traveling, that's a great picture, by the way, with your cat or your dog, what do you need to know?
The very basics are the carrier. Make sure they're used to the carrier before you get in there. Particularly a cat can get stressed out. So think about putting a blanket or a piece of clothing in there just so they get used to the scent. if you're going to think about using sedatives, check with the vet first. These guys don't need it. Some might, but check with the vet. Feed and water 4 hours before you check in is always an interesting one. For me, that's our rule, but it might be subjective to your dog. But the point being, figure out that fine line between when they won't go hungry or thirsty and when they need to go to the bathroom. But 4 hours is a good rule of thumb, but other people have different ones. And exercise your pet before flying. As in life, a tired pet is a happy pet.
Right. So are the dogs with you in your seat?
So
how does that work?
These dogs, that's a great question. So the rules right now that are there, and as of June 1st, if you want to take a dog on board, you now have to have a soft-sided carrier on Air Canada. That's different. It used to be hard, but it depends on the size. These guys Cleo is too big. Cairo, in a pinch, you could put him underneath the seat. We don't travel much with them on plane. We did to France. That was when we went to Europe. But the carrier should be 40 by 43 by 21. And the dog has to be able to stand up and turn around. And the other thing I think is really important to remember when you think about traveling with your animals is the heat and time of year. There's a lot of places that are blacked out because of the heat. And certain dog breeds you can't put underneath because of the heat. Ones with breathing problems like pugs and bulldogs and boxer terriers. But at the end of the day, I would say my personal opinion is I don't like to travel this time of the year because of the heat with the dogs. I try to, if you're going to put the dog underneath on a plane, if they're that big, I would think about fall or spring.
Lauren, these dogs are beautiful. Look at them. They're just like posing for the camera. Amazing. Okay, so if a place says pet friendly, what does that mean exactly? Could it mean different things for different places?
It really means different things. I literally stayed at a hotel two months ago, and they said pet friendly. When I got there on arrival, they said, oh, you have to sign this waiver saying that they'll be in a crate the entire time they're in their room. It's like, that's not pet friendly to me. So I was like, bad. So I would make sure that you check that. There's ways to do it. Marriott Hotels, for example, has an app that you can check and search for pet friendly hotels. Two of their brands, Westin and Aloft, are particularly pet friendly. They waive the pet cleaning fees for you. They have amenities for your dogs.
Really?
And Aloft's program is called Animals Are Fun, ARF, which I even love more.
Wait, do that again?
ARF. It's called ARF. And then out on the West Coast, they have Hotel Z, and Accent Inns are really good. They will let you have animals of any shape, size, reptiles, birds, you name it. Their most frequent guest is a llama named Tony.
No way.
Totes. So those are good ones. And then in terms of destinations, just search online. Like Halifax has a patio program, PEI, which will list businesses where you can take your dogs onto the patio, or even businesses where you can go in.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we travel just north of the city. So, you know, in no traffic, it's like 2.5 hours, 3 hours. And sometimes on the way back, we want to stop for dinner.
Right.
And so we've now sort of like highlighted which patios that we can go to because we're always with our dog.
But I like the programs when they indicate with on a map. And so you can see as you're planning out your day as a tourist with a dog.
100%. Okay, so you've traveled a lot with I'm going to call it your animal kingdom. You've learned some lessons along the way.
Yeah, some hard ones.
Yeah, tell me.
Make sure that you have multiple labels on your carrier. I would include now these days maybe an AirTag or a GPS tracker. We actually, with our former dogs, we had a dog left behind once on a flight from Toronto to Moncton. And so thank goodness we had put her name all over. So when we finally got in touch with the airport person that had it, they knew her name. We had put an empty water dish in the carrier so that they could feed her some water. So learn that lesson the hard way, did it, and glad we did. The other thing I'd like to do is when you go in and check your dog in, they will put a hard plastic tie on the carrier if it's going underneath to make sure that it's secure. Well, the first time I arrived, I didn't have any way of getting that plastic tie off. So pack scissors in your check bag, but I put it in a side back pocket, so it's the first thing I can grab out, cut that tag off, and get the dog out so they can get some air. But it was very frustrating the first time to not be able to do it. And then, of course, always pack a leash. We brought the cat home once, and I don't have a leash for the cat, but you have to take the animal out when you go through security. So I'm telling you, that cat, Storm, she was off to the bar. I need to like hold on to her for dear life. So I now have a cat leash after learning that the hard way.
Okay. And did you like what we did for you in the green room? Can I just show you what happened? So you get into the green room. This is one of the weirdest things. So we have these weird things in the green room, but look, they match your dogs.
Yes, who were almost called Polar and Panda before we went with Cleo and Cairo.
So wild. Thank you for the great tips. Look, they love it. They're like, who are these people? That's all for us today on Your Morning Weekend. Don't forget, you can scan these QR codes for the Your Morning newsletter and to listen to more conversations on Your Morning, the podcast.
Please do scan. And we have another great week coming up. On Monday, I'm going to speak with the founder of Honey Jam as it marks 30 years of supporting up-and-coming artists.
Tuesday, we'll tell you about some summer perks for your wallet you may be missing out on.
On Wednesday, what you need to know about cottage rentals.
Ooh, and Thursday, we revisit a classic dish, beer can chicken.
And Friday, simple tips to keep your garden thriving during the hot summer months.
Sounds like a great week ahead. Thanks for joining us.